Out of 8 billion people alive right this second, you're one of the very few who's going to hear what I'm about to say. That's not random. I steered your eyes here on purpose. Because a secret meeting about you just ended. A room you've never seen, where the only topic was your name. You weren't there, but you were the reason everyone else was. And the verdict is already out. The decision about who you are was made, sealed, and signed before you even woke up today. Stick with me until the end. Before this message finishes, you're going to find out what the verdict on you was and what was released in your name the second that door closed. Because I know exactly where you're sitting right now. And I know what you carry when no one's watching. I saw you standing in front of the mirror early, before anyone else was up. That moment when the house is still silent and you look at yourself, and for a second, you don't recognize who's there. It's not that your face changed. It's that you can't remember the last time you felt whole, looking at it. I saw you watch other people move ahead. That person who started out with you, and suddenly they're 3 steps ahead, and you smile for them. You genuinely smile, but inside that nagging question starts eating at you. What's wrong with me? What don't I have that everyone else seems to have? I saw you type "I'm fine" with a hand that was shaking. I saw the exact distance between what your fingers wrote and what your chest was screaming. You hit send, and then you stared at the screen, hoping someone would notice it was a lie. No one did, and I saw you in your contacts list. That list full of names where, when you honestly stop to think, you're never anyone's first call. You're remembered later. You're the backup in a lot of people's lives. And that planted an idea in you that almost became your identity. The idea that you're ordinary, replaceable. That if you disappeared, the world's gears would keep turning just the same, and maybe no one would miss you for very long. I saw you smile in public and fall apart at home. That mask swap that happens in the hallway, between the front door and your bedroom door. Out there, you're solid, you're handling it, you're holding it together for everyone else. You seek, you dedicate yourself, you do everything right, and yet abundance never comes. And the worst part, you start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you're being heard up above, if it's meant for you at all. It's not a lack of faith or worthiness. It's a spiritual blockage that ordinary prayer alone cannot break. The Miracle Journal unblocks this in 21 days with a spiritual protocol that works exactly where your prayer doesn't reach. Along with the journal, you'll also receive as a gift the prayer guide and the Psalms manual with the most powerful sacred practices and texts to deepen your transformation. To claim your version of the journal, tap the link in the comments right below this video. Mask swap that happens in the hallway between the front door and your bedroom door. Out there, you're solid, you're handling it, you're holding it together for everyone else. In here, with the door shut, you sit on the edge of the bed and your entire body feels heavy, like someone switched off a strength you were faking all day. No one knows the weight you carry alone. I do. I'm not going to tell you that pain isn't real. It is. You didn't invent that exhaustion. Nobody goes through what you've been through with dry eyes. It wasn't drama. It was life weighing more than it should for too long, on shoulders that were never meant to carry it alone. But I'll tell you this before anything else. The fact that you're still standing, after all of that, after so many nights carrying the weight of feeling invisible, isn't weakness. It's the clearest proof there is that something inside you refused to die. And that something has a name you haven't heard yet. Before I go on, do one thing for yourself. Hit the like button. The like is your public amen. It's your way of saying, without words, I receive this, and heaven registers what you confess openly. What you mark with your hand, I mark in the book. Now I need to make you 3 promises. And I want you to hold on to each one, because by the end of this message, all 3 will have been fulfilled right before your eyes. First, that emptiness you feel about who you are. That silence that feels like abandonment. It isn't abandonment. I'm going to show you that silence was confidentiality. It was a decision being sealed behind the scenes before it could be revealed to you. Nobody pushed you aside. You were being decided. Second, before the end, I'm going to give you a protocol. A simple, concrete path for you to hear, with your own ears, the verdict that's already been passed on you. Not a theory, a method. And third, at the end of this message, you'll open your mouth and declare out loud that you were chosen, that the meeting about you is over, and it ended in your favor. You'll walk out of here knowing that, like, you know your own name. I placed you in front of this word because it's meant for you, not for the version of you that has everything figured out. For this one, exactly this one, that showed up here, tired of proving itself. You spent so long thinking no one was paying attention. I need you to hear this. The whole room was talking about you. Now I want you to close your eyes for a moment, if you can. If you're driving, just look away from whatever doesn't matter and stay with me with your ears. Because I'm going to show you the signs, the marks I left in your life, that you interpreted one way and that mean exactly the opposite of what you thought. The first sign. You wake up at 3 in the morning. No reason, no noise, no dream, nothing to explain it. Your eyes open in the dark and you just lie there, waiting for sleep to come back. Thinking it's stress, anxiety, age, caffeine. You called it insomnia, a mind that won't shut off. Let me tell you what it really is. That hour is when I call your spirit to a room where your name is being spoken. While your mind sleeps, your spirit is summoned. You're not waking up by accident. You're being called close to the conversation, and that's why, even tired, there's a part of you that's strangely alert at that time. It's not a disorder. It's a convocation. Notice something. At that hour, in the dark, you're never angry. You feel a kind of longing for something you can't even name. An urge to pray that you didn't have during the day. A thought that rises on its own. About God, about your life, about who you could have been. That's not a coincidence. The room where your name is being spoken draws closer at 3 in the morning, and your spirit feels its nearness. You're waking up outside a door that's talking about you. The second sign. There's a tiredness in you that no amount of rest can cure. You sleep and wake up exhausted. You take a day off and come back with the same weight. Because it's not physical fatigue. It's the weariness of someone who spent their whole life trying to prove they deserve to be where they are. Proving it to the boss, to the family, to friends, to yourself. You called it burnout. Being too hard on yourself. Let me tell you what it is. That fatigue is the sign that you were made wrong for the role you're playing. You were made to receive, and you're living trying to earn. You were created to inherit a place, and you're spending all your breath trying to buy a place that's already yours. That exhaustion won't leave until you understand this. You don't need to earn an approval that was already given. The third sign. People pulled away from you. Doors closed for no reason. That opportunity that seemed certain evaporated. That friendship that cooled off without a clear cause. That path that simply jammed. You called it rejection. Bad luck. Nothing ever works out for me. Let me tell you what it is. That wasn't rejection. It was removal. I removed what couldn't come into what was decided for you. Some things, if they'd stayed, would have contaminated what's coming. Some people, if they'd remained, would have kept you from fitting into the place you were chosen for. The doors that closed didn't close against you. They closed for you. Think about the people who left, the one you still cry over sometimes, that absence you never understood. And think, if they'd stayed, who would you be today? How much of your strength would you have spent holding open a door I was purposely closing? There are losses that, seen from a distance with time, reveal themselves as rescues. You just couldn't see that from inside the pain. I'm asking you one thing. Trust that the hand that closed that door is the same one opening the next. And now I need to give you the last sign. This one is the hardest to hear. It's what the enemy spent the most time trying to make you ignore. Inside you, for a long time, there's been an uncomfortable certainty, a premonition that something big is close. Something is coming. And you've been pushing that feeling away, smothering it, because you're afraid. Afraid to get your hopes up and be disappointed again. You've gotten excited before. You've believed before. And it hurt when it didn't come. So you learn to mistrust your own expectations. But listen to what I'm telling you. That premonition you try to silence isn't an illusion. It's not you fooling yourself. It's the echo. It's the sound that escaped through the crack in the door of the meeting that ended in your favor. That's why it's so hard to kill. You're trying to discard the only thing that's telling you the truth. If this word reached you, if it found you, type the word free in the comments. It's not just a word. It's you confessing that you're ready to let go of the old way of seeing yourself. Now close your eyes for another second. Take a deep breath. What I'm about to tell you won't work if your attention is divided, so leave the outside world for a minute. Just stay here. I want to tell you two stories, because sometimes we only believe a truth about ourselves when we see it happening to someone else first. There was a boy named David, the youngest, the one nobody called for anything. While his older, stronger, taller brothers stayed inside the house where decisions were made, David stayed out in the fields, alone, looking after someone else's sheep. He was the invisible one in his own family, the forgotten, the one left behind. One day, the prophet Samuel arrived at his father's house to anoint a future king. And the father presented his sons one by one, the strong ones, the obvious ones, the ones who looked fit to rule. And for each one, heaven said no. It's not this one, not that one. Until only the ones present were left, and Samuel asked if there weren't any more. And the father, almost as if remembering an insignificant detail, said, "There's still the youngest, but he's outside with the sheep. That one. The one who wasn't even called to the room. The one tending the flock while his life was decided without him." The meeting about David's throne happened before anyone went to get him. When they called him in from the field, the verdict had already been passed. He didn't go to the room to be evaluated. He was called to receive what had already been decided about him while he was far away. Alone, in obscurity. And now think about something from our time. Think about an acceptance letter, an important decision about someone's life, signed and filed away inside a closed office. The name is already on the letter. The signature is already dry. The result is real, it's stored, it's final. Only the person out there still doesn't know. They spend days anxious, thinking maybe not, thinking they don't deserve it, rehearsing how they'll deal with the rejection. And all the while, inside that closed room, the answer is already yes. The decision no longer depends on what they feel. They're just waiting for the news to cross the door and reach them. And think how much worry is wasted in the waiting. The person out there doesn't sleep, doesn't eat right, rehearses the worst, prepares for the no, and all of it is suffering over something already resolved on the other side of the wall. Their suffering is real, but it's based on information that's already outdated. The decision changed and nobody's told them yet. That's exactly how you've lived the last few years. Suffering over a question that already had an answer. Carrying an uncertainty that, in heaven, was already certainty. Can you see the bridge? You're David in the fields. You're the name on the filed letter. The decision about who you are isn't happening now. It's already happened. It was made behind closed doors. It's sealed. What's missing isn't the decision. What's missing is the revelation reaching you, and it's reaching you now. If you recognized yourself, if you're David in the field, type in the comments, "Chosen in the field." Leave your mark that you understood where you came from. Now let me stop for a full minute. I want you to stop with me. because there are three things I need you to understand as facts, not feelings. First, you're not waiting for a decision. You think you are. You spend your days in expectation as if the verdict is still to be given. But the decision has already been made. You're living in anxiety over an answer that already exists. Second, the silence you felt all this time wasn't absence. It was confidentiality. Some decisions are sealed in silence before they're announced. Heaven didn't abandon you in the silence. Heaven was deciding you in the silence. Third, everything that pulled away from you didn't leave in void. It opened up space. Everything that left your life and that you cried over made exact room for what was released in your name. You were being emptied to be filled with something else. And now, after everything you've been through, after not giving up when it would have been easier to, I'm going to do something I don't do for just anyone. I'm going to tell you the names. The names that were recorded about you in that meeting. What I call you when I speak of you in heaven. They're not nicknames. They're the verdict. The first name is this. You are the chosen one. I marked you before you did anything to deserve it. Before your first achievement. Before your first mistake. The choice came first. I didn't choose you because you proved yourself. I chose you, and that's why you exist. David wasn't anointed after defeating the giant. He was anointed while he still smelled like sheep, before he'd done anything worthy of a crown. The anointing came before the test, and what this authorizes you to do is stop. Stop trying to earn a place that's already yours by decision, not by merit. You can rest from the effort of deserving. The spot is reserved with your name on it. The second name is this. You are the sealed one. I saw every loss you interpreted as punishment, everything that hurt and that you thought was payback for something you did wrong. And I need you to hear this. It wasn't punishment. It was removal for protection. Every door I closed in your face was a seal, guarding you from what would have contaminated you before the right time. You thought you were being punished. You were being preserved. And what this authorizes you to do is start reading your story again. Look at the closed doors and for the first time, see a seal where you used to see punishment. That wasn't the universe conspiring against you. That was heaven building a fence around what's coming. The third name is this. You are the summoned one. Your name didn't leave that meeting alone. It left with a task attached, a specific mission made for you that no one else in the world can fulfill your way. You weren't chosen just to be saved, to stay quiet and well kept in a corner. You were chosen to carry something, to deliver something to those who don't yet know they need you. And what this authorizes you to do is change your entire posture toward life. You spent years waiting for permission, waiting for someone to release you, approve you, tell you that you can. From now on, you're not waiting for permission anymore. You're waiting for instruction. Permission is for those who haven't been chosen yet. You have been. Now you're just waiting for the next order. Type in the comments the name of the identity that hit you the hardest just now. Chosen, sealed, summoned. Type the one that struck deepest. And if this message is really reaching you, subscribe to the channel, because what I have to give you doesn't fit in just one video. There's more coming, and I don't want you to miss the next summoning. Now let me deliver what I promised at the beginning. The protocol, the concrete path for you to hear with your own ears, the verdict that's already been passed on you. It's called the Seal of 3 Confirmations. 3 steps. You can do this today, still today, before you sleep. Step 1. In a quiet place, alone, you'll say out loud the name you've always seen yourself with. The small name, the invisible, the ordinary, the disposable, the forgotten. Whatever word has haunted you your whole life, you'll say it out loud once. And then you'll give it up. You'll say, "This name I return." It's not mine anymore, because you can't receive the new while holding the old with both hands. Step 2. You'll ask a single question, and then you'll be silent. The question is, what name came out of the meeting about me? And then you won't fabricate the answer. You won't invent anything to fill the silence. You'll stay quiet and receive. The answer doesn't come from your head running after a pretty phrase. It comes as a stillness that settles in. Wait for it. Step 3. The first word or the first image that comes in that silence, you'll write down. Don't judge whether it makes sense. Just write it down and carry that word with you for 3 days as a sealed confirmation. Look at it in the morning. Look at it at night. Let it work inside you. And there's nothing complicated about this. You don't need a difficult word or a special place or a specific time. You need honesty and silence. The old name surrendered. The question asked. The answer received without force. It's that simple, because what's yours doesn't need to be torn from you with effort. What's yours gives itself when you open your hand. And how will you know you've truly received? The sign isn't euphoria. It's not goosebumps, it's not crying, it's not an emotional explosion. The sign is stillness. A peace that settles in your chest, slowly, and stays when the noise of proving you deserve finally quiets, and only silence without anxiety remains. That's the sign. You've been confirmed. It's not the emotion that rises and falls. It's the firm ground that appears beneath you and doesn't leave when the emotion fades. If you're receiving this protocol now, if you've already decided you're going to do it, type "received" in the comments. The written word is the first step of the seal. But I need to be honest with you about what comes next, because receiving isn't the end. That's what activates the backlash against you. In the next 72 hours, 3 things will be thrown at you. Not as a possibility, as a certainty. I'll name each one now so that when they come, you'll recognize them and not fall. The first tactic is the doubt of merit, and it comes disguised as humility. You'll start to think, who am I to be chosen? I'm not that special. This is arrogance on my part. Pay attention. That is not humility. True humility receives what heaven gives. What disguises itself as humility to make you refuse your verdict is the oldest weapon there is. Its goal is to make you give back the gift because you think you don't deserve it. But you've already heard, choice came before merit. Refusing it out of humility is just obeying the enemy dressed in a saint's costume. The second tactic is the rush for proof, and it comes disguised as faith. You'll think, if this is really true, then let it show up now. Let everything change today. Show me a big sign immediately. And when it doesn't come at the speed you demanded, you'll want to conclude it wasn't real. Pay attention. That is not faith. Faith waits for the revelation to cross the door. The rush for proof wants to tear open the envelope before the time, and when it can't, throws it all away. The letter is already signed. Don't force the delivery. Wait for it to arrive. The third tactic is the return to the old name, and it comes disguised as realism. A voice will tell you, look, let's be practical. You've always been ordinary, always been this way. Better to accept it and not create an illusion. Pay attention. That is not realism. It's an attempt to forcibly put you back into the identity I just removed. It's the old name knocking at the door, wanting its room back. Don't answer. And there's one last voice, the most dangerous of all, because it comes from inside, with your own voice. It will say, this was just a video. Tomorrow you'll forget and go back to being who you've always been. It will try to invalidate the seal the exact moment it settles. When you hear that voice, and you will, I want you to answer it with what you learned here. It wasn't just a video. It was a summoning, and a summoning is not forgotten. It is sealed. If you're willing to stand up against these three, type protected in the comments. The decree was sealed over you. You are covered. Now the most important moment of all has come. I want you to stop whatever you're doing if you can. Place your hand over your chest. Feel your feet firm on the floor. And close your eyes. I'm going to take from you now 3 weights, and you're going to let me take them. The first weight is the obligation to prove every day that you deserve to exist. That exhaustion of having to justify your presence in every room, every relationship, every morning. I take it from you now. You no longer have to deserve the air you breathe. The second weight is the fear of getting your hopes up and being disappointed again. That fear that made you smother every bit of hope before it could grow. I take it from you. You have permission to believe again, without having to protect yourself from your own heart. And the third weight is the identity of the invisible and ordinary one. That old outfit you wore for so long you thought it was your skin. I take it from you now. It falls to the floor. It's no longer yours. And now listen to my voice, because it's me speaking to you. I saw you standing in front of that mirror, early, before anyone else was up, not recognizing your own face. I was there. And while you looked at yourself without recognizing, I was deciding who you are. In that exact reflection that scared you, I was already calling you by a new name. I saw you type, "I'm fine," with a shaking hand. I saw the lie and the truth beneath it, and I didn't judge you for lying. I wept with the truth. And in that moment, while your fingers trembled over the screen, the room talked about you, and the decision was tilting in your favor. I saw your contacts list where you were never anyone's first call. I saw you feel like second choice, remembered later, left behind. And while you felt like the last in line for everyone else, you were the first name on mine. You were always the first one I thought of when I decided who to call for this hour. I cover your mind, so these 3 tactics find no open door. I cover your relationships and remove what needs to leave and bring close what has been released for you. I cover your time and take you out of the rush that makes you quit too soon. And I cover your identity, this new name you just received, and set your seal that no one can break. From invisible to chosen, from ordinary to sealed, from forgotten to summoned, from someone who proves to someone who receives, from someone who waits for permission to someone who waits for instruction. It is done. The meeting about you is over, and the verdict was in your favor. I send you back to your life now, but not as the one who walked in here. You walk out of here decided. Now open your mouth and say, out loud, wherever you are, the meeting about me is over. I have been chosen. Say it again, and this time, believe it. The meeting about me is over. I have been chosen. It is done. What was delivered here has been delivered, and you are not the same person you were when this message began. Type "done" in the comments, not as an instruction, as your signature under what heaven has already signed above. And now think of one person, a specific person who came to mind while you were listening to this, someone who also feels ordinary, invisible, forgotten, and who doesn't yet know that a meeting about them also ended in their favor. Send this message to that person today, because you might be the door through which the revelation crosses to reach them. You might be the news arriving. In the next video, I'm going to show you what to do in the first 7 days after receiving your new name so that it takes root and nothing can tear it out. But for now, rest in this. You no longer need to prove you deserve to exist. The decision has already been made. It is done. You have been chosen. And you are not the same person you were when this message began. You seek. You dedicate yourself. You do everything right, and yet abundance never comes. And the worst part, you start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you're being heard up above, if it's meant for you at all. It's not a lack of faith or worthiness. It's a spiritual blockage that ordinary prayer alone cannot break. The Miracle Journal unblocks this in 21 days with a spiritual protocol that works exactly where your prayer doesn't reach. Along with the journal, you'll also receive as a gift the prayer guide and the Psalms manual with the most powerful sacred practices and texts to deepen your transformation. To claim your version of the journal, tap the link in the comments right below this video.